All right, can you hear me? Okay, let's start. Let's start.
To hear you. Yes.
Once again, welcome to this grand webinar. The focus on this webinar is to train you on how to write a winning grant proposal. Everything in grant application is all about writing a proposal. So the proposal can be in form of a written document. It can also be in form of an online application questions, but they are all proposals. And that is the essence of grant application. So, and in this training, we are going to dwell more on it and also learn so many details on how to develop a compelling proposal. So, first of all, what is a proposal? What is a proposal? A grant proposal is a formal request for financial support from an institution such as a government agency, foundation, any individual. It can be corporation, it can be foundation, it can be any individual. They always demand for a what? A proposal. So there are several proposals, but for this purpose of grant application, what we are looking at for is what? A grant proposal. So it's a formal document that enables you to what? To request for funding, to solicit for. Okay. So it outlines your proposed projects. Obi, kindly mute your mic. Okay, you can do that. All right. Okay. So it outlines your proposed project or business, the objective, significant methodology, and the budget required. So the aim of every proposal is to what? Is to convince the funder. That is the aim. So the aim of every proposal is to convince the funder of your project that your project aligns with their mission, that your project is worth investing in. So the target of your proposal is to make sure that what you're able to what convince the founder. If your proposal is not convincing enough, it means it's not a good proposal. Because the aim of that proposal is to what? Is to convince. That's why it's a proposal. So now, like I said before, a grant proposal can be in form of a written document. This is one that is mostly some organizations prefer you to submit a written document, a proposal, that is a grant proposal. But it can also be in form of an online questionnaire. Most times, once you log into your a grant portal and you start answering, what you see mostly is what those questions you see are what also grant proposal. So in the online questionnaire, you will now be seeing questions like, can you describe your business? Can you tell us more about your business? What problem does your business solve? All these things are proposal, but now they have to break it down in section. It will be in form of a questionnaire so that you can what answer. So the essence of this class is to enable you to what to understand it, because if you get everything right here in your applications for any grants, it will be easier for you, because most of all the whole questions they ask you in grants are what is found in the proposal. So the after this class, we are going to write an assignment. The assignment is that everyone is going to develop a proposal for his organization. Mostly, some of the people I partner with, what I do for them is the first thing I do for them is to develop a comprehensive proposal so that I will keep it for them. So any grant opportunity that comes, so we'll now get the proposals, we now align it to suit to that particular opportunity. It's easier. Once you have a comprehensive proposal, it's easier for you to get grants, and it's easier for you to do the job done because you don't spend much time again, like you starting from afresh. So once you have a comprehensive proposal, it's easier for you in your applications. You can even apply for 3 or 4 grants in a week because you have a comprehensive proposal for that. So what you just need to do is to get the proposal, tailor it in a way that it will suit, it will be in line with that particular applications, because most applications differs on what they are looking out for. So just don't just submit it like that. Just tailor it to be in line with what they are looking out for. Then you submit instead of you starting afresh. So that is the essence of this class. So what are the key components of a grant proposal? What are the key components of a grant proposal? So before we mention these key components, every grant proposal does not focus only on these key components. These are just the basic components that will be mentioned that I will state here. But before you draft any proposal for any funder, you have to make sure that you understand what they require. Some might require some other documents, some might require some extraordinary some attachments. So make sure that exactly what they are requiring is what you are what sending for them. But these are what I'm going to give you today is the basic component of every compelling grant proposal. Number one, it's supposed to have an executive summary. An executive summary is a concise overview of the project, including the goal, significant, and funding requirements. This is what you see, the first page you see in a proposal, in a proposal document, but is the last document that you develop. Is the last document like that you develop. It's just like those that are into science. It's just like um, abstract. Just like abstracts for those into education. So an executive summary is because this is where most funders want to see first before they move to the next page. So everything in an executive summary must be compelling. So, but it's a summary of what it is in that your proposal that must contain there. So the next component is the statement of need. You must be there. I will explain more as time goes on. The project description, budget, organization information, evaluation plan, and attachments. So these are things that you must contain in a grant proposal. The attachment, evaluation plan, is organization summary, budget, project description, statement of need, and executive summary. So the next thing I want us to look at now, things you need to know before writing a grant proposal. This is very, very important. Yeah, you can't just start writing a grant proposal, especially if you are writing it in a particular grant. You are targeting a particular grant. First of all, you must know that winning grant is not about writing a fancy proposal. These are one thing we need to get right when writing a compelling proposal. Most times I don't most times I hardly collect grant application to write a grant for someone, not because of uh we don't write. We are for a very long time we used to write, but recently I stopped doing that, not because of anything, but because found out that most organization, if they will come for you to write a proposal for them or a grant application for them, but if you look at the organization, it's scanty. They don't have any achievement, they don't have any track record. Winning that kind of grant, winning a grant with those things, it will not be easy. But there are some organizations that if you look at what they have achieved, look at the kind of structure they have, it will be easier for you to apply for them and they will win grants. So I found out that it's not all about writing a fancy proposal if you want to win grant. It's all about strategic positioning, how you tailor your organization, how you position your organization, how you push your value, the kind of track record you have given, the kind of evidence that backs you, the kind of record you have kept. So these are things that backs your proposals. So winning grants, writing a compelling proposal is not all about what you write. A compelling proposal is how you position your organization. Work partner with a particular foundation, a Somchi foundation, and that organization, since we have worked together, we have won nothing less than 300,000 US dollars. We have worked with so many projects together, and the organization have a structure, and it's easier for you to work with this kind of organization. So, but you have to start building that kind of document. You have to start building those things. It make grant application easier, winning grant easier for you. So it's not, and two, it's not all about you. When you are writing, it's not all about you. It's also about what the organization needs. When I want to write any grant proposal for anybody, the first thing I spend much time doing is to know what that particular funder is looking at for. So I'll look at what the funder is looking at for, know what they are looking at for, know the kind of the USD sustainable development goal they are targeting, know the area that they are picking more interest in. Sometimes I also go as far as looking at those that have won those grants before, know the kind of grants that they have won. So it will give me an insight of the kind of things that they are looking at for. So from the drafting, from the problem statement, I will keep on highlighting those things that they are looking at from. So I will make them realize that I understand what they are looking at for, and I'm willing to partner with them. So your proposal should work towards partnership, work towards that you can solve their problem, you can deliver what they need. Just like on the price is all about distribution. So they don't care whether you have an innovative solution. What they know is that, does your solution have an innovative way of distribution? These are what they're more interested in. Does your solution have an innovative way of distribution? Because it's all about distribution. How they can give you 1 naira and you can use that 1 naira to solve problem that will create a lot of impact, that is scalable. So if you understand those organizations and what they are looking at for, so it will help you to start on time from the beginning of the component, to start narrate your narration showcasing what they are looking at for. It will help you to position your organization in the way that they want and give them that conviction to fund you. So just like I say, position yourself as a partner. Start by deeply understanding the funder's mission. Show how your work advance their goal. Present concrete evidence of your impact. Demonstrate your capability to execute that project. That I remember a funding that I applied for with my organization. For me to get that funding, I have to get some team. I know some people that can give me that can join my team to give me what I want. So I have to get them because I need to submit their CV, I need to submit their portfolio. So for the kind of project I'm looking at for, and it helped, and I was able to scale through. So sometimes you want to know how capable the capability of your team. You want to see it in your proposal. You want to see it in the document you are submitting. The same thing like that of the price. They say that you should submit your CV, which you know that those CVs they are more interested in that because they want to see how capable you and your team is in order to deliver that project you want them to deliver. So all those things are what you use to position your proposal. I hope I'm making sense. If I'm making sense, I want you to indicate. You can indicate by dropping a love emoji or a like emoji. Okay, okay, that's good. So the next thing I want us to look at is things you need. Okay, we are seeing on it. Grant funding is not all about ideas. I've said that it's all about execution. So start small, show evidence. You can run a pilot, document result, take pictures, get testimonial, track impact. So these things matters. These little things matters a lot. Little things, it matters a lot. So you think of things that you can do well, that can scale up, So document all those things because these are things that push your proposal. You want to see those small, small evidence. Yes, your organization is just 1 year old, but within 6 months, there are some little, little evidence you can gather. Those things can form your impact, can form your testimony. They don't joke with testimonial, they don't joke with track impact metrics. These things matters a lot. So and they they boost your proposal. Build credibility through consistency, operate at least 6 months, build track record, show commitment. So these things are very well wonderful. Networking also good. Join some relevant association. Like there are some association you belong to that will also help to scale your business. Like an example now, if you're into health, there are some organization you're supposed to belong. If you are into health, if you are into agriculture, are into crop farming, at least there are some organization you're supposed to belong, like Hafan and so many other organization. If you are into nutritional food, you're supposed to belong to SBN. You're supposed to belong to work with. So there are so many other, so many organizations that you're supposed to belong. Those things also builds your your proposal when you are narrating your organization achievements and experience. It also boost your proposal because they're more interested in this. The truth is that there are some grants that are open. There are some grant applications that are open. I'm going to expose one of them again to us and give us as an assignment after this class. So I'm also going to send it to you. Or maybe in our next webinar, I'm going to have a training on that so you can also apply for that one. They give they give close to give more than 200,000 US dollars. So you can apply for those kind of grants. They are open. It doesn't have deadline. So those kind of grants you apply. If you didn't win it, you apply again until you get it. So most of those grants they give people based on recommendation. They also give based on recommendation. Like I know a friend of mine, they have given her grants severally based on what recommendation because of she have that track record. So gradually build those network. It matters a lot. So now step by step guide on writing a winning grant proposal. This is where the main work is. First of all, you research funding opportunities, identify potential funder whose mission align to your project. Another thing I need to let you know, understand again that it's not all grants you apply for. It's not all grants you apply for. There are grants that are peculiar to what you need, that are grants that are not peculiar to what you need. So look at those grants that are peculiar to what you need. Apply for those grants. It's easier for you to win those grants than all grants. So understand what the funding requirements. Carefully review the application guideline, eligibility criteria, evaluation process of each of those funders. It will help you to understand what they are looking out for. So the next thing is for you to what in the grant component. One of the first component is what your statement of need. In the last class, was able to dwell more on statement of need very, very well. But I'm also going to give you a tips on that. A statement of need is something as what? Problem statement. Just like I've said before, a statement of need is something as a problem statement. That is the first component that always come from in a proposal. If you're also applying for grant, this is one of the first questions you keep on seeing. It will tell you describe the problem your organization is going to solve. That is the statement of need. So crafting a statement of need is very, very important. I have been privileged to join a team that mark a grant question. It's from there that's when I understand what how statement of need is being scaled. First of all, they need to check whether the problem is really a problem. Is it really a problem? For it to be for it to be described as a problem means there must be and evidence that back it up. And that evidence is not what you just form. It's something that you can get from data. So every statement of need is supposed to have a data, a proven data. That data is what back that problem that is a problem. So you can get those data online, and not just any data we look at for. You look at for credible data within that community. So not just you see a blog like that that talks something about that problem, you just pick that blog. No, if it's going to be a blog, it's going to be a well reputable blog. So that is one thing. Another thing we look at for is how compelling is this something that can draw someone's attention. Is it connect? If you read a problem statement, it's supposed to connect with you. And one of the things that make a problem statement connect is the story you tell. Sometimes you see some people, they start from I that's my grandfather died, my mother died, my this died. All those stories are just for them to draw emotion, to connect the person that is reading it, and it matters a lot. It matters a lot. Even my problem now is a lot of people lies a lot just to say, to draft a compelling story, but you don't need to lie. There are stories around every problem. There are stories surrounding every problem. I did a research for a particular client at Enugu, and I was able to get so many evidence to back up the feasibility study I present to them. Through the questionnaire, through the survey, through the interviews, I have gotten a lot of stories. I back up my story. So you can get stories so many places, real stories. So it matters. Another thing that matters when evaluating a problem statement is how urgency is it important. There are so many problems in this. There are so many problems, but what they look at for is that problem important? Is that problem urgent? Is there a need? If we don't fund this project, is there anything that's going to happen? So a good compelling statement of need supposed to address all those things, supposed to have a recent that statistics to prove as an evidence for that problem, not a statistics of 1990. If for this is 2025, at least your statistics not supposed to be less than 5 years. So if you are using the statistics of 2019 or 2020, you are already outdated. So you're supposed to be using the statistics from at least 2021 to 2025. So it must be something that have a strong database. You must have a story, a human impact story that can also pass that narrative. You must have it. And also the problem must be something that you narrate in a way that it will create an urgency that if you don't solve that problem now, something will happen. That is it. Oh. You must show them that you need to solve that problem now. If not, they'll say, okay, let's leave this person's application and go and look for the application that solve that problem urgently. So you must show them in your problem statement that this application is solving this problem. This problem, if you don't fund this pro- project now, more problem we are right will lead to a lot of things. So in your problem statement, you will show them all these things, show them the consequences of them not funding it. If they ignore the problem, the consequences is there. All these things must be narrated in your problem statement. There's an example of a problem statement I stated here, which you can look at. Like this is an example of a problem statement. Nigeria is experiencing a severe hunger and food scarcity crisis worsened by climate change. Smallholder farmers who produce most of the country food struggle with reduced rainfall, shorter growing season and rising temperature. I back a statistic which you can see there. Adamu, and that's narrate a story. Adamu Musa, a tomato farmer in Fege, Kano State, lost 90% of his tomato plants in 2024 due to inconsistent rainfall and harsh temperature. And it is also estimated that by 2050 some crop yield are expected to decline by 60% due to what? climate change. So there is a urgent need to provide a solution that address this crisis. Now, from this place now, I've already showed them that if there is no problem, if there is no solution, means by 2050 there will be a serious what decline by 60%. And I back it with a what? With the statistics. So if you look at this problem statement, you will see an evidence, you will see a story, you will see the consequences of if not, if an action is not what being implemented, if an intervention is not being presented, look at the result is going to happen. So all these things are what make a problem statement a problem statement. It must show that urgency. It must show that it is real. It must have an emotional connection, and also it must show that it is very, very important. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to say. If you're able to understand this, I want you to indicate. If you're able to understand it, I want you to indicate. Okay, 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 that's good. So that is it for problem statement. The next thing is what? Project description. So now you are going to draft your project. The next component is a smart project or business description. Now, these are where a lot of people fail. Sometimes, if you look at some people's application, you will not be able to understand their business or the project clearly. So, your project, how you describe your project matters a lot. These are what I call framing, because how you frame, there is a friend of mine that is into um what's the name of this small snack, peanuts, and he have won a lot of grants. But the way he described that product, you ask yourself, it's not just peanuts, but you describe it in a way that you showcase the value, showcase everything. If you eat the peanut, you will not even see anything unique in the peanut. But it's just that the way he described it, you will just fall in love. Add both milky, creamy, everything. Just show a value. The truth there is that if you don't, that is what I call framing. In describing your business or your project, you have to frame it in a way that you will present the value of what you are doing. If you don't frame it that way, you will just describe it, they will see it like other businesses. So you must describe in a way that they are going to visualize it, see where you are heading to, see what your product is going to offer. So for you to frame your project or your business description very well, you must be what? Specific. When I talk about being specific, that you cannot solve all problem. Your project cannot solve all solution. So you must streamline it to target a particular area, a particular niche, or a particular location. Even though you are dreaming to go global, but you can streamline to target a particular location for a start. Then the next thing is be highlight the innovation. The always most proposals always look out for innovation. So those key innovation in that your project, highlight it. Let it be described. Let it be described in that your project, in your business. Also demonstrate impact. Also showcase the in your narration of your description, demonstrate the impact that business or project is going to what to do. So a good business description or project description must be specific, must show innovation. The innovation is the value that the business is going to bring out, and also must show what the impact. So these are what a good business or project description must look like. I draft an example here, which you can see. Like I use an example of AgroBoost, a company. I just framed the company. It's not existing, no, it's not my company. So at AgroBoost, we are transforming smallholder farming Okay, it's supposed to from smallholder farmers. We are transforming smallholder farmers in Kano State with our solar power irrigation pump leasing services. With our solar power irrigation, the transforming there is trying to show the kind of impact I want to create. I can't. I didn't just say I'm selling. I'm rendering solar power irrigation service. I didn't just say that it's so common. It's so local. I started that we are transforming smallholder farmers. That is a value. I'm showing the value, the impact I want to make. I'm transforming smallholder farmers in Kano State with our solar powered irrigation pump leasing services, offering affordable climate smart irrigation. I mentioned climate in case I'm targeting climate problem projects. Climate smart irrigation. Our solar powered pump enabled farmers to irrigate their crop year round, reducing dependency in erratic rainfall. This ensure higher yield and food security even in drought prone areas. Pay as you go model. Our services allow farmers to lease pump at low flexible rates, eliminating high upfront costs and making modern irrigation accessible to even the smallest farm. Increase productivity and resilience. By ensuring a steady water supply, our solution help farmers to grow more food. I'm not highlighting the impact, increase income and adapt to climate change, change challenges. So these are example of a framing. What in a layman way, which services am I offering here? I'm just renting my solar power pump. But if I put it that way, I will not win any grant. So I have to put it in a way that I showcase the innovation, showcase the value I'm offering, the impact I'm offering. All these things must be highlighted so that can picture the need for my services and they can picture the solution I'm offering through my services. You might be selling rice. You cannot say that I'm selling rice. No, you can narrate it. Which value, if you are selling rice, which problem is that rice solving? It's hunger challenge, food scarcity challenge. So you narrate it in a way that food scarcity, hunger, you put it in that proposal, in that description. It must be seen when you are narrating it. So you these are ways you can use to what describe your project or describe your business. I don't know whether you learn anything from this component. If you learn something, I want you to indicate. You can drop a like emoji. You can drop a like emoji if you learn something. Okay, 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 that's good. So the next thing is budget. Uh, I have I have failed a lot in budget until before. Most of the challenge I have in grant writing is budget. I must tell you the truth. I've reached several stage in application that through budgeting I have been disqualified. If I reach the second stage, through budget I've been disqualified until I found out something that a lot of us, these people that are giving you money, the when they highlight on your budget, they are looking at for how cost effective your budget is. And didn't understand this before. They are looking at how cost effective your budget is. And if they find out the budget is not cost effective, they will go for that one that is cost effective and fund that one because they are looking for impact. What they are doing is that they want to solve a problem, but they don't have that time. But you have that time and you have the solution to solve that problem. So if they find out that Mr. James will solve that the same problem with 5,000 and impact on about 1,000 people with 5,000 US dollars, and you put 5,000 US dollars and your own project can only impact about 100 people, they will fund Mr. James because they are looking out for how cost effective that your project is going to be. And mind you, these people that are looking at this area of budget, they are not dumb. These are financial experts, so they are looking for the best way. So they know when you are lying and they know when you are not lying, because from your budget it showcase it. So until I got that, things become easier for me when it comes to budgeting. So this budget is a very important aspect when it comes for grant writing, especially in a proposal. So I always advise people to provide a detailed and justified budget. Before, I don't justify any budget I'm presenting. I don't justify it. So, but I found out that there are some things that they might be in your budget that if you don't explain it, they will not understand it. So you have to find a way and what to justify it. Even the little, if you're just instead of you just writing personnel's, put 50,000 US dollars. What? Break down if it's what that personnel is going to eat 50,000, break it down and break it down. And you also want to look at for if personnel is going to eat 50,000, are there some personnel that they can get in on volunteer base? If there are some personnel you can get on volunteer base, why can't you get those ones to slash that money instead of spending 50,000, to slash it to spend 25,000. So these are how they think, and you too you must think that way. So when you are drafting out your budget, first of all, develop a budget and explain how each expenses contribute to your project success or your business success. You must explain all these things. If your business does not need a vehicle for a start, don't put vehicle. If it does not need a vehicle, if your business does not need to buy a land, don't put buy, it's put lease. Just find a way to make your everything cost effective. Understand what the funders want. It matters a lot. Some people they will tell you that they don't want to fund staff. Like I use an example, pollination grant. Pollination grant, they don't want a funded staff. So if in your budget you put a fund for staff, payment for staff, you have already lost that funding. You have already lost that funding. So they are very critical in that. So in that area for staff, you can put volunteer. If you want to get pollination grant, you put volunteer. So all these things matters a lot. So even in one of their criteria, they emphasize that they don't want, I think, all this website development. Maybe you are paying money for website development, all those things. So if you go there now, when you are writing a budget like for something like pollination grant, now you put start including all those things. Then you have disqualified yourself. So know exactly what the funders are looking at for. Know whether they allow operational costs, know whether they allow overhead, know whether they allow staff salary or capital expenses. I remember the grant I want, they said they don't want capital expenses. They are giving you grants for operational expenses. So I will avoid everything concerning capital. So we'll just focus on the operational. So all these things are things that you must be very, very careful about. Now, how can you develop that your budget? You break down your business activities into components. Assuming that now you're into farming business, you can break it into components. What are the capital expenditures I need? What are the operational expenditures? In the capital expenditure, what are the machines I need? You mention it. Did I need to buy land? You mention it. Did I need to buy did I need to construct? You mention all those things. In the operational, what are the laborers, what are the personnel I will need, what are the is there any am I in need of a full-time staff or a part-time staff, all these things you mention it, which raw material did I need. So you break down all those things into smaller units. In that way you'll be able to know the money you need, the cost of the product, and things you need to apply for, you need, and things that you don't need. If there are anything that that need to explain more in putting it, you can create a bracket and explain that that component, explain it for them effectively so that they will understand what that money will be used for. Instead of you putting personnel to 20,000, you put the personnel, break down that personnel, mention them so they will know the numbers of personnel that you are paying 20,000 US dollars for. So all these things are things that you must break down when developing a budget. Be specific, justify its cost, show cost effectiveness. I've said that before. Show cost effectiveness. It matters in budget. Don't include unallowed costs. These are common mistake a lot of people made. I made that mistake a lot because until I understand how effective it is. Don't over inflate, don't underinflate. So I advise you, before you make your budget, make sure that you get the exact cost of those things in the market. Get the exact cost of all those things in the market so that you will not underestimate, you will not what overestimate. Because those funders, they also know market rates. Don't forget small items like all this printing, communication, calls, utilities. Don't forget all those things. Indicate it too. Because if you don't indicate it, they will ask her, how will you pass this information? You find out that you need to print. So all these small things are what accumulate a lot of money. So don't forget it. So these are one areas about budget. So the next thing is organization information. When you are drafting out your organization information, don't just write. These are where a lot of funders are more interested in, because these are areas that shows competence. Whether, if I fund these people this month, are they competent enough to manage this project or to manage this business? So you must highlight your organization qualification. Who are members of your team? You must highlight them, highlight their competence, show there's a way you can summarize their profile just in one sentence. You summarize their profile there. Put Mention your past success. This your past success is your is your CV. When you come for grant application, I always hit it. Put that numbers, put that numbers, put that number. It matters a lot. It matters a lot. Mention those past success, mention all of them. Take sometimes myself, so or some applications will warrant you to develop some attachment like pictures. Take all those pictures, put it at your attachment. Mention the numbers of people you have impacted, state it clearly for them. But I don't advise people to lie. There is one organization, they just, if instead of mention that they have impact about 10 people, say about impact about 10,000 people. You don't need to put a lot of numbers. There's a way you can make 1,000 people or 10 people or 20 people to look great in that your application. So mention those things. It's very important. Another thing is evaluation plan. Now, in a grant proposal, they also don't want to give you grant alone. They want to know how you track the success of that grant, of that project. So how do you track the success of that project to make sure that the project end up achieving the aim of what they they fund you for? So that's why they always ask for evaluation plan. They always ask for evaluation plan. So it's very essential. So what you give to them for you to draft a good evaluation plan, first of all, you have to understand the objective of what you want to achieve. The objective of what you want to achieve. Like an example now, assuming like we now we have an objective of training 1,000 entrepreneurs in grant writing and fundraising readiness. It's an objective. It's an objective. So Once you understand the objective of what you want to achieve, the next thing is what are the key indicators of those objectives? What are those key performance indicators? Key performance indicators are the same thing as deliverables. So, what are those deliverables or key performance indicators? Now, assuming my objective is to train 1,000 entrepreneurs in grant writing and funding readiness. So, one of my key one of my key performance indicator is the number of what entrepreneurs train. So, assume that I've trained so far 20 entrepreneurs, means that is my performance so far. Then the percentage of those people that are free that have completed the full program. Some people might start half, on the way they will just give up. So all these things are what my deliverables. So you mentioned those deliverables. Those deliverables are your key performance indicators in your project. Then you tell them how you get those results. Is it through survey or is it through data collection? So mention the means of survey. If you are using survey to get those results, you mention it. If you are using testimonials to get those impact, you mention those things. Then you set timeline on how many months you'll be getting those information from. How many months you'll be getting those information from? Is it in month one? What evaluation plan I'm going to announce in month one. If in month two I'm not going to do anything in month two, I will tell them that month two no evaluation. Till month three, I will conduct another evaluation. All these things matters because these are what they will ask you for when you are giving your report in a grant. These are what they will ask you. What are your deliverables? So you will tell them that in 6 months, I'm able to achieve this, I'm able to achieve this, I'm able to achieve this. They document all these things because it matters a lot. I've seen people, a friend of mine that have been recommended to another grant opportunity through the prize. He won the prize and he has been recommended to another opportunity through the prize because he implement his project effectively and they recommend him to so many organizations. All those funders, they know each other. They know each other. They know each other. So I always advise people, once you win any grant, utilize it very, very well. Utilize it very, very well because it will always speak for you. So that's it. So apart from that, attachment. So sometimes I request you to attach some additional information in your proposal. It might be your CV, it might be your registered organization document, it might be some pictures of your impact. So you attach those things. So carefully review your proposal before you submit. So that is what this organization is all about. That is what this platform is all about. After you develop your proposal, you can send it to us for us to review it for you, and also for you can submit. Then you submit your proposal. So that's it. So in conclusion, writing the winning proposal, grant proposal requires careful planning, thorough research, and clear communication. These are important in writing a grant proposal. So this is room for question. This is room for question. So if you have question, I would like you to ask. With this, you can write an effective grant proposal. Thank God I'm able to record this document now effectively. So I'm going to upload the video also. So you can also go through it again and again. In case there's anything you don't understand, you can also chat me up. I will attempt to you. Winifred, please pardon me. I'm still owing you an outstanding job. Last this week that just passed, have been so busy for me. I've just been traveling up and down. So, but I'm going to attend to your proposal you submit to me. Hopefully tomorrow I will send it to you. So that's it. So please ask me a question. Ask me a question. Floor is open. Another thing before the question, in our next webinar, please, any grant opportunity that is ongoing that you want me to to talk on during the webinar, you can send it to me 2 days or 3 days before the webinar so that I can go through those grants and also, as part of our webinar, present it also. So how is the class? Hope you learned something. I would like one or two people to say something. You can ask question. You can also share your impact, what you benefited from the class. The floor is open.
Can I start?
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It's really amazing learning from your sections. They've always been interesting, and um, recently you helped me on a pitch deck, and it was a wonderful one because I've been trying to get it right, even though we've been submitting that pitch deck for a while now. But currently, we now had like a mentor that was not satisfied with the pitch deck, and she has been giving me issues for like maybe 3 weeks. So I reached out to you, and you did a very wonderful job because that will be the first time that she would not be complaining about the pitch deck. So kudos to you. So
Thank
and
you.
from what you've also been teaching us, we've learned some things, and we are also using it to grow our business.
That's great.
So thank you very much. It's worth more than what we paid for.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
I'm glad I can help. Thank you very much, Steph Temitope. Thank you. I'm always available. Don't worry. We are in this together. Our aim is for you to win grants. If you don't win, we are not happy. Because it's when you win grants, then we'll be so happy. At least we have achieved something. To be part of our deliverables. At least you pass through this training in 6 months and you're able to win. Uh, at least to give me more joy. So thank you very much. Since nobody is saying anything again, Abubakar, you just joined us today. I welcome you. Is there anything you have to say?
Okay. Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, good evening, Abi.
Good evening, sir. Until Abubakar comes up, let me just drop this. I think the aspect I really like most, and even if there is still time, if you can just take a minute or two to please share more light, is that aspect of budgeting.
Okay,
Because I think to come up with the right top, yes, but then the right calculations to give as budget as one thing that I'm still not much familiar with.
okay. I think what I'm going to do another web. We're going to have another webinar. I will focus more on budgeting. I'll develop how teach how to draft a budget, a business budget, planning, financial planning, anything. I will focus on that. So I think that would be of a good help to you. So I think that will be one of the things we are going to look at for in our next webinar. That I will detail more or detail it more on that. It will be of help to you. So that's it. Okay, all right. Thank you very much for today. Please, our assignments I have for this class is for you to develop a proposal for your organization. I want to develop a proposal, a grant proposal. Develop it and you send it to me for review. That is an assignment I want each and every one of you to do. So I'll be expecting your feedback on that. So thank you very much for today's section. I will post the recorded video online. I wish you all a wonderful new week. In this week, make it a mandatory for you to apply for grant application. You can apply for one application or two application. It's going to give you a boost. Keep on applying for grants. That is the only way you can win grants. So thank you very much and have a wonderful night. Bye.